Welcome to Black and Gold Digital Edition, a behind-the-scenes look at your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hi, and welcome to Week 18 of our digital show. I'm Jay Pushko alongside Kent Urbanski, Mike Fenner. He's on assignment right now. And Kent, you and I were at the game Monday night. The game itself between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, nothing to really gush over, but boy, what a magical night it was on a very frigid night at Heinz Field for number 7, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben didn't even have that great of a game.
No, he didn't.
But the send-off was, 10 out of 10. I've witnessed a lot of great moments, magical moments in Heinz Field, most of them in bitterly cold temperatures. But the way that the fans supported Ben, no one left at the end of that game.
No, they didn't.
And all the way, I mean, it must have been a half hour of Ben just taking his time, absorbing and taking everything in at Heinz Field for the last time. It was a really surreal moment for me to be a
And all
part
the
of.
signs that we were able to see even before the game, everyone wearing the number 7 jersey. I mean, the fans truly came out. And this is a remarkable career because we don't see this in pro sports anymore, especially in the NFL. A player that stays for 18 seasons with one team, and he wins 2 championships in the process.
Yeah, I mean, because even if you look at Brady, he left, and
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, and Ben was adamant about staying in Pittsburgh, and he made that clear. And even in his post game, is like this stadium, this city, these fans are very important to me and to his family, and it showed that night with the mutual love between the two.
Were you able to take this in? Because, I mean, on one side of it, you're trying to do your job and fight for space and try to get the shot, but in the process, you are capturing some history as this was the last game, at least for him at Heinz Field.
Generally shoot with one eye, but during parts of that, I found myself opening up my left eye just so I wasn't viewing everything through a 1-inch, viewfinder. And yeah, it would. And I just wanted to see it up close in person and capture the emotion of that night, and I did. And it was a point that I just said, okay, I have enough stuff. I just want to watch the rest of this the rest of the way. And yeah, it'll be etched in my memory forever.
And the remarks after the game too from head coach Mike Tomlin, all the way down to the players, especially the veterans, and then even the rookies like a Najee Harris. I mean, they really wanted to win this game in the worst possible way, and they were very adamant about saying it in their remarks. And boy, did they come up and play. T.J. Watt having a 4-sack performance. Najee Harris, 188 yards. He doubled.
9 sacks total that night.
Yeah, and Najee Harris doubled the total of what the Browns' rushing attack was able to do. So those guys stepped up, and that was really meaningful for Ben as well.
Right, yeah. I mean, because if you flip the script and it goes the Browns' way, it doesn't quite have the impact at the end of that game. You know what I mean? So it kind of, the script was written that way, and it played out that way, and thank goodness for Ben. I mean, it's a great ending in that stadium for a terrific career. I mean, he brought a lot to that football team, and he should be proud of everything that he's done.
He holds so many passing records now for that franchise, 92 wins at Heinz Field, and of course, they still have one more game left. They go on the road to Baltimore, and they still have the slightest outside shot of making the playoffs, but first and foremost, they have to win. Someone had asked even T.J. Watt, hey, what are your chances of getting in the playoffs? He's like, well, first we have to win. We can't think of any other scenario. How do they do it going into Baltimore?
Well, it always seems like Pittsburgh does this to themselves, you know? I mean, I can remember being on that same field at Heinz Field watching with the players up on the Jumbotron of Cleveland and Baltimore playing to see if Pittsburgh gets in.
Right.
So how ironic for Pittsburgh now to be going to Baltimore, still in control of their own destiny, needing a little help from Jacksonville. I've seen crazier things happen,
This season alone, we've seen it all just about.
Right, and so, I think with Pittsburgh going down there, I think riding off of this momentum, getting some guys healthy back. I know they've lost Joe Hayden. I don't know whether he'll play or not because of COVID protocol. But I think they're healthy enough to go in there and riding off of this victory against the Browns, and I think maybe establishing that run game with Najee. I think they can go in there and get that win if they stick to that.
And you and I have talked about it throughout the course of the season. You wondered if Najee was maybe hitting the wall just because he's a rookie. He hasn't played this number of games that you ever did in college. even though in college it's almost getting close to playing 15, 16 games. But boy, what a performance, and he still looks like he's fresh going into this final
no
game.
evidence of that rookie, drop off there. I mean, geez, the next to the last game of the year, and you're rushing for almost 200 yards, breaking Franco Harris's rookie record. I think you keep riding them now. That maybe they found something. Switch centers to Hassenauer, and they finally, I think, got a little push there. So. I think if they can go down there and just feed Najee Rock, loosen, and their secondary in Baltimore certainly, is struggling a little bit. I think Pittsburgh can go in there, control the time, control the time of possession, and they come out of there with a win. Keep their fingers crossed that Jacksonville pulls off a miracle and they slide in.
Hey, it could happen. I mean, we saw Buffalo go down to Jacksonville earlier this year. The Colts just don't have much success recently, as bad as Jacksonville has been. So anything can happen in this regular season. The other storyline going into this Ravens matchup, defensively, T.J. Watt. I mean, what a man-child he has been. He's a sack and a half away from breaking the all-time single-season record by Michael Strahan. Cam Hayward said after the game in Week 17, he was campaigning that he has to be Defensive Player of the Year. I would have to agree, being biased and covering this team all season long, he truly is a game wrecker. He's had a phenomenal season.
And having missed a couple of games. He still hasn't played as many games as Michael Strahan had played to break that record with, to me, an asterisk next to it with Brett Favre laying down. He did that. I'm sorry. It was obvious.
It really was. See the tape.
But it was exciting to be there at Heinz for Ben's last game. I'm going to love being in Baltimore, and hopefully TJ gets that 1.5 to break the record.
And these guys are not 100% by any means, but TJ just still keeps going and keeps firing on all cylinders, and it's a great attribute to have because his brother JJ's been banged up throughout his career, but the durability of what TJ brings, and he just brings that energy to that defense.
Yeah, if you've watched that game, he was unstoppable. And I think the Browns were on their 4-string, 3rd-string tackle trying to stop him, and there was
no chance.
No, and if you look at some of the video, he was counting them. He knew where he was, and he knew he was having a night. And and then he even said so in post game about Ben and what a magical night it was. So, but I think he lent himself to that as well, and I'm hoping for big things from him in Baltimore, and I'm hoping to get the video another celebration.
Finally, the road has been unkind to the Steelers this season. They're going to be in Baltimore again. So many slow starts in the first half, almost not even scoring points. How do they change that going into this final game?
Get a quick start, jump on top of Baltimore and, establish that run, get a couple of quick scores and control the game, the entire game. Pittsburgh's basically been a fourth quarter team scoring all their points in the fourth quarter. Let's not get there. Let's get it going right from the start, and hold the lead and take their crowd out of it. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit of respect for Ben down in Baltimore, and that that they send him off in his last regular season game on a good note. I don't know that he cares either way. I think he wants the W, but I think I'd like to even see him. He didn't have a great game against the Browns, so I'd like to see him have a little bit better game, get over somewhere in the 200 to 300 yards passing range yards, and come out of there with a win.
You ready for one more road trip?
I am, absolutely. I know we're tired as well from being a long season, starting early with the Hall of Fame. It's been a great year.
It certainly has.
I've enjoyed it.
Crossing some things off the bucket list, going to Green Bay. You had a chance to also go to Arrowhead. So, I mean, it's been a great season being on the road.
Right, yeah, and it all comes back to that one tie that's kind of putting a little damper on it.
A little thorn in the side.
So maybe luck is on their side this weekend. They get the win, they get a little help from Jacksonville, and they get going one more weekend.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll be there front and center.
Okay.
Well, that does it for this edition of our digital show. For Kent Urbanski, I'm Jay Pushkar, and enjoy the game.
Thanks for watching. Join us again next week for Black and Gold Digital Edition.